I went to the foot doctor today, and we just got home and had dinner and stuff, so I was letting things calm down. But I went to the foot doctor and I asked all my questions. So my first concern was that my infection of my intestines and my colon would get in the way of my surgery date, make it to where it would either be pushed back or something like that, because they won't operate obviously if you have an infection. It's too risky, too much going on, so they don't typically do it unless you're absolutely your life is on the line, which obviously my life is not on the line if I don't have the surgery. It's on my foot, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now, so I've just been waiting for it. So he said no, it won't affect the surgery at all. My antibiotics that I am on currently for my infection is they end 2 days prior to surgery. So I was like, okay, is that going to be okay? Because I'm putting on antibiotics through my IV when I do have surgery. And so I wasn't sure if it was going to be too much or what. So our plan is to stop the medicine that I'm on when I'm supposed to stop, which would be March 3rd is when I'm done. And then I would go the 2 days. My surgery's on May 5th. And then he would prescribe the same antibiotics that I'm on, which is Flagyl, the generic for that, if you've heard of it. If not, it's whatever. But he'll prescribe that to me again to stop, I guess, the infection from reoccurring, because the infection that I have, weirdly enough, is caused because I was on antibiotics for too long. And it's weird because there's an antibiotic to fix it. So it doesn't really make sense to me. But hey, it's doing its job, it's working, so that's all I really care about. So that was my number one concern. My second question was what my scar was going to look like, because right now the top of my foot, I showed you guys in another clip, my incision is just a straight line. It's not anything crazy. Well, he said that my incision this time is going to go from basically my toenail and curve around and then go straight down. So I'll try and show you on my foot. I'm on my phone right now and it's facing forward, so I'm gonna try and show you my foot with it forward facing, if that made any sense. Let's try this. I'm gonna put my foot up on my table. Don't judge my messy room, okay? I'm busy, I have a life. So my foot, so he said it was going to start here and curve around and then go all the way down. So hopefully you could see that, but it's going to start basically right below my toenail and curve around this giant lump and go down. So hopefully I was able to show you a semi okay picture of that. I couldn't really tell, but if not, whatever. I'm not gonna really redo it. I'll try and put a clip in at the end if I watch this and it's not good. Anyways, so that I'm super fascinated with what my scars will look like, my stitches and all that stuff. I don't know, it's kind of a big deal, and it's something that is going to be noticeable for the rest of my life, so it's always going to be there, so I want to know what it will look like. So that, and I thought that was pretty cool because just, I don't know, it has something else to it. Anyways, he told me also the, I guess, extent of the recovery and what all he will have to do when he gets in there. So of course he had to take x-rays of my foot. He did the last, so I've had 5 surgeries altogether. He did the last 4. My first ever surgery was with a completely different doctor, and my first surgery was on this foot that's going to be operated on, so it's my right foot, and the doctor just did a terrible job. He ruined my foot, basically. It should have gone perfect the first time, but since this doctor had to fix what the other doctor did, that's why my foot is kind of the way it is. And so I was asking about my recovery and what all he has to do. So my recovery length is anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks. At first he said, 6 to 8, and then he really thought about it. With me and all my surgeries prior, it has taken me longer to recover than it normally should. But that's just because a lot of complications have happened with my surgeries. this last surgery that I just had, so surgery number 5, was a hardware removal. And that surgery, like, could definitely be avoided at all costs. It just, that kind of stuff always happens. Like, your hardware, if you have hardware in anywhere in your body, with my foot, he said, you know, you can live the rest of your life with your hardware in, or, you know, very rarely it will cause problems to where you have to have it out. Mine was a very rare situation where I had to have my hardware taken out. So that was a surgery that could have been avoided. So right now, he is taking like every precaution there is. So he's saying 8 to 10 weeks non-weight bearing. So that means crutches or a knee scooter. And I have both. I have my pair of crutches, which I own because I'm like paying like money for them every time you have surgery. I just don't want to do it, so we paid the however I think it was like $25 to buy crutches from the hospital. So we paid $25 for crutches, and I have them, and they've been with me for the past 4 surgeries. So I have those no matter what. My nose is like really runny, sorry. I have my crutches no matter what, but since my surgery is going to be in the summer and I'm going to be on crutches for so long, or non-weight bearing for so long, I decided to ask for a knee scooter. So he wrote me a prescription for a knee scooter. I just have to go to like the place to pick one up. And so I'm going to go to the place obviously and get it before my surgery, so maybe sometime this week or early next week, and get it. And it's, my insurance covers it completely, so I don't have to pay for it. But if I were to rent it, I think it's like $30 for a week or something like that. But with a prescription, he just will write it out for like how long I need it. So in this case, it'll be like 10 weeks at the most. He'll put the max amount on it, and then I'll just go and pick it up, and that's all. I don't have to pay for it. And just recently when I went to Disneyland, I had a wheelchair because I also just had a foot surgery in February, and I went to Disneyland the beginning of March, or the middle of March, and so I got a wheelchair for Disneyland, and that was the same way. I just went and picked it up, and I had it for 2.5 weeks, and then I brought it back, and it was fine. I got a prescription, and it was all good. So yeah, so that's kind of like the length of my recovery and what I'm going to do for that, because it's going to be summer, and I don't feel like crutching around. If I want to go for a walk, like, well, I can't walk, but if I were to go outside with my younger sisters and, you know, they're all riding bikes and scooters, and, oh, here I am on crutches, I can't really, like, participate with them, but, you know, so I'll get a knee scooter, and I think that way I'll be more active. I'll be able to go and do things. If my friends are like, oh, let's go, you know, for a walk. Well, I don't really want to crutch everywhere, so I'm going to get a knee scooter, and I think that's the easiest option for me. And I'll have both. I'll have the crutches around the house and then the knee scooter for anything outside. But as for the surgery itself, he's going to be doing a lot, so he's going to obviously do that incision that I showed you, kind of an example of, with my finger. So he's going to cut me open like so. He's going to remove the hardware that is already in my foot, for precaution that he won't have to go in for a 7th surgery and remove it then. So he's just going to take it out now. My bones are completely healed. So if the plate and screws were to be removed now, it wouldn't be a big deal at all. I wouldn't even notice a difference. So he's going to do that. He's going to fuse a joint, which I think I talked about in my video before this, I think. But anyways, he's going to fuse my joint, because right now, as you see, my toe sits up like this at a 123.2 degree angle. My toe is like this. So that's a little extreme. So he's going to fuse a joint so that it straightens out. He said also that he may have to lengthen a tendon, that there's like a 99% chance that he will have to lengthen my tendon, because my toe just doesn't want to touch the floor. My toe like floats above the floor. All my other toes touch the floor, but my big toe doesn't. And so that causes a lot of like balance issues, obviously, and so he might have to lengthen the tendon so that it can reach the floor, and I think that's what the main problem is right now. And then it's not straightened, obviously. So the fusion and the tendon lengthen will straighten it out. So those are the 3 things that he has right now. But again, with my type of surgery, with my feet, there always is something. When he opens up my foot, there's always something else that he ends up doing. he didn't say what else he might have to do. It's just another thing when he cuts my foot open and looks inside of it. That's when he'll decide if he has to do other things or not. So it's so good. I'm drinking coffee and it's like 8 o'clock at night, but I don't even care. Anyway, so that's what he'll do. And then I think that's it, really. There's a chance that I'll have to do physical therapy after the surgery just to get motion back and all of that stuff. But yeah, I think I kind of covered all of it. Now I'm like drawing a huge blank. We were there for like an hour. It was insane. But yeah, I think that's all. And so I think I'm just going to end this video here. It's the end of the day and I'm just really going to sit around and finish my coffee. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. I'll try and put new videos out as often as I can. Again, I'm having a foot surgery in like a week and a half, so I will try my best to upload at least 2 more videos before then. I do want to do another foot surgery must-haves video before my surgery, so like I'll show you like the knee scooter and stuff like that. Like I'll put a video together. But yeah, so I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.